Welcome to Avivo's Achieving Dreams Breakfast. Please welcome to the stage the CEO of Allina Health, Lisa Shannon.
All right, good morning, everyone. What a pleasure to be with all of you here today, and what a great turnout. And I hope you enjoyed the special coffee bar. Although I've never gone to a coffee bar and found crayons and markers. So I wondered at first what I do with those, and now I know. And we're just so thrilled to have you here, and such an important fundraising event for Avivo's Achieving Dreams fundraising breakfast. Again, it is my honor to be here and my pleasure to be with you and to hear alongside of you the amazing stories of impact that Avivo is doing in our communities every day. I'm excited not only to welcome you, but as we think about our shared collective impact in community, together we'll have an opportunity to support this important work of Avivo as well. So I want to give a special thanks to, throughout this event, we're going to have a number of special appreciations, all the sponsors that have been here for Avivo for all the years, and certainly who continue to be here today. You'll find them in the pages of your program that are at your table, and please do familiarize yourself, and if you have an opportunity, to thank one another for the special support and sponsorship. There is special recognition you will find at your chairs, special swag bags. There are gifts in there for each of you, and these were provided by DTS, and we're so grateful. Please join me in thanking DTS. So I want to invite to the stage, and please also a warm welcome to DTS's Senior Technology Advisor, Niko Kapitanovic, as he comes forward to say a few remarks on DTS's support for Avivo. Niko, please.
Taller there. Hello, good morning. My name is Niko Kapitanovic, Senior Technology Advisor at DTS, also known as Definitive Technology Solutions. I'm honored to be representing DTS here today as a presenting sponsor of the 15th Annual Achieving Dreams Breakfast. I'd like to start out by thanking Nicholas Fry, the Vice President of Information, Technology, and Compliance at Avivo, for introducing me to your entire organization and inviting me to present DTS here today. DTS is a privately owned office technology company. We provide imaging such as copiers, printers, managed IT, and managed telecom. We're currently in our 19th year of operations, located in Bloomington, Minnesota. Now, even though our corporate office is in Bloomington, Minnesota, most of our business is done here in Minnesota and the local Twin Cities area. However, we do currently have business today in 39 states in the U.S. Avivo provides hands-on support throughout the Twin Cities. DTS has been very fortunate that our client base is very loyal and supportive. In return, we have continually found different outlets to support the communities our clients are located in. We have tried to partner with organizations like Avivo that we feel have similar support interests and values. Why we're here today is to support Avivo and the tremendous footprint of support that they provide to the state of Minnesota. Avivo currently is one of the largest nonprofit workforce development partners in the state of Minnesota today. For more than 60 years, Avivo has helped families and individuals who have experienced some of the greatest barriers to success, such as homelessness, substance abuse, serious mental illness, poverty, and lack of educational opportunities. Every year, Avivo helps over 1,400 individuals find employment and their careers. Since 1960, Avivo has provided a full spectrum of chemical and mental health services, career education, and employment services. The Avivo organization services lay a foundation of health, social and economic wellness that transforms lives daily throughout Minnesota. Lastly, I would like to mention how proud we are at DTS to be the presenting sponsor today. I would also like this time to thank all the other sponsors and guests that are here in attendance today. And I encourage all of you to support Avivo, their mission, and what they do for our community. It is organizations like Avivo that help shape our community day in and day out. Your attendance today shines a positive light for not only Avivo, but for our community and for our great state of Minnesota. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. We wouldn't be here without the generous support and your sponsorship. So to all of our DTS colleagues, we say thank you. Today, you are going to hear about the crucial role that you all can play in Avivo and how working together we can increase the well-being of our neighbors that in our communities that are so important to us. Allina Health's role in community and partnership has been so vital, and this relationship has been really important. Avivo's been serving people for more than 60 years, in fact. Nearly 10,000 people each year in the Twin Cities Metro and Central Minnesota are helped to find support from homelessness to stable housing. Can there be no more important thing to do? If you are unhoused, all that surrounds you in your care is really at risk. And so this work is really important. Avivo is innovative and a responsible nonprofit partner that really brings together businesses, agencies, and government leaders to advance a vision of healthier communities. This morning, you're going to hear a lot more from Kelly, and we'll celebrate the recipient of the Avivo's 2023 Celebrated Community Leader Award. We're also going to hear from a former Avivo participant, and I know you will be inspired. We'll hear from a business partner, and we will have an opportunity to financially support Avivo in this important work. Now, to open our program, please help me in welcoming one of our partners and our mayor, Jacob Fry, Minneapolis.
Good morning. Lisa, thank you for the kind introduction and for all of your support and work with both Allina as well as Avivo. My name is Jacob Fry. I'm the mayor of Minneapolis, and I'm here to tell you how important this coalition, this team is. If you look around at the people at your table and the individuals that are in this room, they form an incredible coalition that support people in our city that are struggling, that support every single rung of the ladder from unsheltered homelessness all the way to stable housing. We need this coalition in this room to succeed, and in succeeding, it will not happen without Avivo. The first primary interaction that we had at the city with Avivo was around 5 years ago at the Wall of Forgotten Natives. It was perhaps our first large-scale homeless encampment that we had. There was around 150 people that were in need of service, of help, and then ultimately the foundational element of life, which is stable housing. And what we were finding is certainly we had shelters in the city, and certainly we were producing homes at record levels, but making the connection between the two, that glue that stuck it all together, was in part missing. And so we set up what was a navigation center. We saw rates of people moving from unsheltered homelessness to housing at levels we've never seen before. When it was all said and done, with partnerships like Avivo, with work like individuals like Simpson Housing, and with partners like the city of Minneapolis, we set up a criteria that allowed more and more people to transition into stable housing. Usually, we saw about a 15% success rate on an annual basis transitioning people from homelessness to stable housing. But in this case, we saw about a 45% success rate, 3 times the amount. But we didn't stop there. We wanted to figure out where all of the gaps in that continuum existed. So at the city of Minneapolis, we stepped up, and we are now providing 6 times the amount of deeply affordable, low-income housing that we were previously providing just 7 years ago. 6 times the amount of low-income housing from before. Thank you. But we didn't want to stop there. We wanted to make sure that continuum was seamless. And so we asked some questions, recognizing that some of the best ideas that I've had are actually not my ideas at all. They come from all of you, and more importantly, they come from people who are experiencing homelessness directly. We asked them what they needed. They said they needed dignity in their shelter system. They said that they needed a place where they could shut the door on the world and take a breath. All of the difficulties that they go through in life, so much of it can be cured by a stable home. You give them the foundation from which they can rise, and they will. But to get to that stable home, again, you need that transitional element, and that is where Avivo came in fine form. They set up a program called Avivo Village. How many of you know what Avivo Village is? It better be every single person in this room. And in very short order, the city delivered the permits, we helped with the funding, we provided over a series of years $5 million. So many other entities stepped up as well. And the people at Avivo, people like Kelly Matter, and thank you so much. People like Dan Yeager, thank you so much. People like Emily Bastian and this unbelievable team at Avivo stepped up. And they created something that we have never really seen before in full. They gave people tiny units within a larger building. And in those tiny units, people can find the way to just be themselves. Think about what makes you you. Think about where you go to bed at night. You've got maybe your glass of water on the nightstand, the book that you read, all of those things that make you you. Everybody deserves that. Every single person should have that foundation from which they can rise. And what we found, and you'll hear about the data because it speaks to it, is that when you give people that ability to take that deep breath, to close the door on all the difficulties of the world and rejuvenate for the next day, their chances of success in finding stable housing and retaining it are far higher than if they didn't know which bed they were going to sleep in the next night. If they didn't have those really special and important things that make them themselves. And so the success that we're seeing is tremendous. The success that we're seeing is unprecedented. But here's the thing. To really succeed, we need a whole lot more success. We need each and every one of you to step up. We are making great progress in the city. As I said, we're providing more on a per capita basis for affordable housing than almost any city in the entire country right now. We're doing more in terms of unsheltered homelessness than we've ever done before. But the issue is still greater. We need a team like Avivo to be that seamless transition. We need a team like Avivo to step up for those of us that oftentimes go unnoticed. They shouldn't. We need a team and a coalition like all of you to recognize the importance of this particular endeavor, of this particular cause, and step up with your work and with your financial resources. So here's the ask. I cannot think of a more important cause that you could possibly invest in than this one. If Minneapolis is a tremendous city, we call ourselves a tremendous city. To be that tremendous city and to realize our full potential, we got to be looking out for all of us. And that means supporting Avivo. Whatever you thought you were going to come in here and give this morning, My expectation is that you can probably double it. And you laugh a little bit, but if you think about whatever amount you came in here thinking that you were going to give, you could probably double it. Make this happen for people in our city that need this care and compassion. Make this happen for people who are experiencing homelessness. Make this happen for Avivo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Fry. We can feel your passion and energy for this important work and healthier communities.
Please welcome to the stage Avivo's President and CEO, Kelly Matter.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks to each and every one of you for being with us today. It is my hope that each of you, even if you've known us for a long time, learn a little bit more about Avivo and are compelled to support this amazing organization and the amazing team, some of which you saw on the video. I'm going to keep us moving, but please continue to enjoy your breakfast. I know some of you might have just received it. You heard on the video, and you heard from Mayor Fry and from Lisa, that Avivo is here. We walk alongside individuals and families who face the greatest challenges to home, health, and headway. Individuals experiencing homelessness, individuals struggling with substance use and mental health. We provide career education and employment services to community members across the Twin Cities and the Metro. Like you saw in the video, there is no other organization in the how and why we do what we do. We do absolutely whatever it takes to meet people where they're at so that they can take that first step to safe housing, to recovery, or to a career. Avivo is an expert in serving community members who experience the greatest needs. Avivo is an expert in pairing our services for long-term success. Let me illustrate how this works. Consider Bree and Tani. Both were young women, pregnant, sleeping outside in the winter in an encampment. Bree found shelter at Avivo Village, and Tani moved into Avivo's recovery housing and began substance use treatment, where she also found safe housing. It was the first time in forever that Bree found a safe place to rest, good meals, and medical care. And Avivo's amazing team helped her move into housing just in time to deliver a healthy baby boy. Tani graduated from Avivo's family treatment program, and our amazing team again helped Tani and her young one move into a deeply affordable apartment. Yeah, thank you. Tisha, another mom who completed Avivo's family treatment program, took the opportunity and enrolled in Avivo's healthcare training program. After graduating, she was hired by a healthcare company as a scheduler for a network of clinics. She's been promoted, and now she's a trainer of other people moving into jobs. She's making a living wage, and she found an affordable apartment for her and her daughter. Charlie was in one of Tisha's classes at the Avivo Institute, and after graduating, he completed an IT internship at Avivo. He didn't have experience that was going to get him the job, the type of job he needed and wanted. He secured an entry-level job in IT. He has since had 3 wage increases, and he tells us he absolutely loves his job and his employer. And in fact, those of you who were at last year's breakfast heard Charlie share his story. He's still doing well. Behind these day-to-day scenes at Avivo is a very fragile web of funding. This network of support helps us operate our overall services. It's funding like government sources, like the City of Minneapolis, counties, and the state. It's foundations and corporations like Rivet and Marsden and Enterprise, and donations from individuals like all of you. Avivo and other not-for-profits who are serving people who need us the most are facing significant challenges, unprecedented challenges, really. The acuity of need in our community is greater than we've ever seen, and we've been doing this work for 60 years. It's fueled by the opioid crisis, the lack of deeply affordable housing that's keeping people on the streets, a shortage of staff. We've even had challenges this past year in getting paid for the contracts we operate. This past year forced Avivo to do something we've never done. We had to lay off 37 positions, and never have we done that. So 37 in and of itself may not seem like a lot, but each of those 37 amazing Avivo employees touched on average 100 people each year. That's approximately 3,700 people that will go unserved. We are here, and we are working through trying times in partnership with our community, but we do predict it's going to get worse before it gets better. We have a heavy lift ahead of us, and we will get through it, and it is the power of partnerships with businesses, nonprofits, and donors that builds healthier, stronger, and more equitable communities. Together, we all make a difference. With your gift today, we will continue, I promise, we will continue to do whatever it takes to be here for our community. Our mission is only propelled with all of your help. I thank you sincerely for any gift that you make today. All right. Next, it is my distinct privilege and honor to introduce Avivo's Celebrated Community Leader Awardee. This is an annual recognition to recognize a leader who is having a positive impact on eliminating inequities specific communities face in education, employment, and health. This year, we are especially pleased to welcome and celebrate Guy Mingo as our 2023 Avivo Achieving Dreams Celebrated Leader. Guy is the president and CEO of Marsden Holding, one of the largest privately held maintenance and security firms in the United States. He began his career at Marsden in 1978 and became CEO in 2002. Under his leadership, Marsden has grown from a local Midwest operation to a $500 million enterprise with 10,000 employees across the country. Guy's contributions and impact in his field and the community make him a leading figure both locally and nationally. We honor Guy for the difference he's made in supporting the advancement of all Minnesotans. Marsden has been partnering with Avivo since 2005. They were a catalyst in helping us launch our maintenance skills training program and developing our curriculum and helping us develop curriculum for a floor care training program as well. Since then, Marsden has continuously been involved on Avivo's Business Partnership Council, informing our programming, collaborating on proposals for innovative new programs, hiring Avivo graduates, and providing financial support through its foundation. They continue to be involved with Avivo and other not-for-profits activities, and they're absolutely instrumental in linking us to recent support. We know that Guy has been supportive, always supportive, of the not-for-profit community in providing opportunities for individuals who experience barriers to employment success. We remain grateful for your long-term support of Avivo and your visible commitment to Avivo's mission. We celebrate you as a changemaker, Guy, and an example of an outstanding partner who's helping build stronger, healthier, and more equitable communities. Please join me in welcoming Guy Mingo to the stage.
Good morning. Well, now for the hard part. So I'm not known for being a quiet speaker in the office, but these type of events are the tougher part of the job. When Kelly called and asked for me to, and told me that I was going to be honored this morning, I certainly was surprised and humbled. I think that the work that Marsden does is what I've always lived at the company. So Kelly asked me to talk a little bit about my story, and well, that's not why we're here this morning. I think you'll feel and see the connection to what the great work that Avivo does in the community. As Kelly mentioned, Marsden was founded in 1952 by Skip Marsden, the founder of the company. I joined the company 45 years ago. I started as a part-time janitor in the company. It was a second job, and one that I told people was a summer job I never intended to stay at. 45 years later, I'm still here. And the reason I quickly realized Marsden had a real culture of caring for their people and the community. And what I mean by that is when I had an opportunity to meet Skip Marsden, the founder, really early in my career, and he inspired me as an individual. I realized very quickly that Skip's passion for people went well beyond work, that Skip valued people for more than just their production. He really cared about the people that worked for the company. He was a supporter of the underdog. Having the fortune to meet Skip early in my career, I realized that we had a lot in common in spite of the age difference that we had. See, I was 17 years old when I started with the company, and Skip was quite a bit older. I met him when I was 19 years old, when I had moved into a management position, and we connected immediately because we realized we had a lot of things in common. We both grew up in broken families. We both lived in poverty for many years. We both had no formal education, and we both made our way into the workforce at a very young age, 15 years old. Skip started out, joined the Merchant Marines, and spent 4 years on a cargo ship during the war. Came out and became a bellhop in downtown St. Paul. Later started cleaning a church in downtown St. Paul, and the business was born. I went to work in the grocery business in the neighborhood I grew up in North Minneapolis. Marsden was a second job so that I could afford an apartment. Moved out with my girlfriend at the time. We were 17 years old when we did that. Marsden was a second job to pay for that apartment and the one car that we had. Skip took me under his wing. He really taught me the business, taught me a lot about life, really taught me a lot about people and why people are important. And that's why I'm so passionate about Avivo and the work that they do. In many, many ways, their participants are our workforce. We are in an industry that, in a lot of ways, has stigmas to it as well. You know, we started out as a janitorial company. We provide service. You know, we're behind the scenes. We're at night when people have gone home and are sleeping. Our workforce is doing the work to make sure that those buildings are clean, safe, and secure in the morning when people come back in. As Kelly mentioned, over the past 20 years, Marsden has grown to be a national service provider. We're a company of several hundred employees when I started, which was a big company in our industry. And over the past 20 years, we've grown to 10,000 employees. In that 20 years, we've added and created 7,000 new jobs across the United States. More than 3,000 of them exist in Minnesota. The company's also expanded from janitorial services to become an integrated facility services company, providing cleaning, HVAC maintenance, and even facilities management. So the opportunities for our workforce to grow and to advance and to follow their passion is far beyond what the business originally started out to be. That's the exciting part of this job. That's the connection to Avivo, is that we're able to create opportunities for our people that are well beyond maybe the entry-level job that they started in the organization. We're proud of the fact that over 70% of our frontline supervisors and managers and even some of our executives started at the very bottom of this organization and are now living their dream, better life, better home life, being able to support their family. And this is done through being able to provide them the career opportunities, to provide them training, and to provide the valuable mentoring that I was able to receive from Skip. You know, without organizations like Avivo, many more people would not have the opportunities that I had and that many in our organization have had to realize their dream, to have a stable job, to have a stable and a safe place to live. We're proud of the fact that we work with Avivo, the work that they do, the work that the opportunity to provide employment for participants coming out of the Avivo program. Marsden is an organization that really cares about its community, really cares about the people that work for us. Marsden is proud to be a business partner with Avivo, working together really to support our community, but more importantly, the people that live in our community. Thank you.
Congratulations, Guy. How about another round of applause? What an inspiring morning, and we're just getting started. Guy, you are so deserving of this award, and your story inspires all of us, and certainly me as well. We are going to hear from another wonderful business partner for Avivo, and it's my pleasure to introduce Karen Leddy, who is the HR Generalist Manager for Enterprise Holdings. You'll recognize Enterprise Holdings in the state of Minnesota, the company that operates Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Alamo, and National Rent-A-Car. Karen has been an Avivo business partner since 2017. Please help me welcome Karen.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for having me here. I first, as she mentioned, became associated with Avivo about 6 years ago. As a company, we were looking for a community partner to assist in our recruiting outreach efforts. But for anybody who's done that, where do you start? Who do you trust? A long-term state vocational rehabilitation counselor was advising us on how we kind of navigated that space. And he said, "Have you ever heard of Avivo?" I hadn't, but he was raving about their approach to community services and how different they were from so many other programs, and I was definitely intrigued. So I set up a meeting with an Avivo representative and learned about how Avivo takes a very integrative approach to helping those who faced a host of barriers, most of which are things that you and I take for granted every single day. Everything that my advisor had told me about Avivo was correct, so I joined the Avivo Business Partnership Council. Since then, we've had the opportunity to volunteer with various programs with Avivo and hire some of their students. When the state VRS asked us to consider their job tryout program, there was no other community resource partner that we thought of other than Avivo when we needed to administer that. We were happy to have Avivo as a business partner that could help us recruit from an untapped market. We were able to request grants from our own enterprise foundation to financially support Avivo and the work that they were doing. Then, 2020. Everything came to a screeching halt. The pandemic, civil unrest. There are no words that can accurately describe each individual's experience during that time. From a professional standpoint, business came to a standstill. For the first time in my 20 years with Enterprise, we weren't hiring, we weren't recruiting. We were quite simply just trying to keep our current employees as busy as we possibly could. Amidst all of this, Avivo stepped into the community and into areas I didn't even know they served in. Avivo's street outreach team kept connecting with people who were living outside. As a result of their work, the shelter Avivo Village now exists to address the needs of individuals experiencing unsheltered homelessness. Avivo employees, they quite simply just did what needed to get done. Fast forward to 2023. As a company, we're growing again, and we are hiring. And we take comfort in the fact that not only is Avivo a partner that can help us build our applicant pool, but they're also a partner that can help us build our community. Thank you, Avivo, for all of your hard work, and thank you to everyone who is here. I'm honored to be here with you. I hope you'll continue to support and donate to this outstanding organization to help our neighbors live well and work well. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing you an amazing woman who graduated from Avivo's Institute and who has come to share a bit of her story with us today. Please welcome Takira Lawrence.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everyone. I'm a bit nervous, but very excited to be here to share why Avivo is such an amazing place. About 3 years ago, my family lived in Alabama, but our family's home was destroyed by severe storms. With nowhere else to go, my husband and I and our 2 daughters moved in with my dad here in Minnesota. While we tried to figure things out, I received the news that I could no longer work on my feet for medical reasons. So I decided to go to school rather than back to work. But my dad was having none of that, so he kicked us out. Homeless, we moved with our daughters, ages 4 and 7 at the time, into a shelter in Minneapolis. We had no income, no car, and we didn't know anybody. I've had a lot of different jobs, but my favorites were being a school bus driver and a manager at Panera Bread. Knowing that these options were taken away from me, I was feeling very lost. I didn't see any other way to push my life forward, and school was the first time that I actually made a decision for me, and I am very grateful that I chose Avivo. Avivo's school experience was life-changing, from the curriculum to the instructors. I enrolled in the IT training program. First, we had to master strong skills in Microsoft and computer applications, as well as workplace business skills. The training program took me 6 months to complete. After graduating, I was invited back as a paid IT intern for Avivo school. The internship gave me income to help get out of the shelter and further my skills in the field. That, combined with my husband's part-time income, helped us move into an apartment. We lived at the shelter for 9 months, 9 very long months. When we moved into the apartment, my youngest daughter ran from one end of the open apartment to the other, very excited to have so much more space. An Avivo instructor helped me put together my resume and practice interviewing. As I was applying for jobs, I was getting very sad thinking about leaving the Avivo family. I decided to look at Avivo's career openings and found a position that uses my computer skills. Now I am part of the Avivo family, working as a data systems coordinator for the mental health team. I am inspired by my coworkers and especially by my boss, Allina, and proud to be a part of their team. In June, I started at Capella University to get my bachelor's degree in psychology, and a couple of weeks ago, I received a $15,000 scholarship for academic excellence because of my 4.0 GPA. Thank you. Thank you. Avivo really changed my life. While I didn't need to take advantage of Avivo's other services, I see how important the care is for treatment, mental health, homelessness, and employment. I am so grateful that I chose the right place to go. Avivo gives Minnesotans a leg up when they feel like they have no other option. I was going through a lot when I was in class, including mental health issues, and never once did anyone judge me. I thought I was lost without Avivo, but now my life has been changed for the better. Thank you for being here and for supporting Avivo's work.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Takira. Wow, what an amazing and inspiring morning we are having together. So maybe just a few words before we get to that QRL that is on your table, because we need your help. We need your help with the amazing and important work that Avivo does in our community for so many. Our community is stronger because of this work. Avivo has been a really important partner to Allina Health, and to my Allina Health colleagues, thank you for being here. For serious mental health issues within our hospitals and our emergency departments, to be able to help our patients connect to important services in our community, particularly homelessness, which is a huge challenge in healthcare today. We are so grateful to have this partnership and work together, and I just want to say thank you to Avivo personally on behalf of Allina Health. Now, this is the moment. Mayor Frey challenged us to double whatever we thought. So I am going to suggest you go on your program to page 14. And on page 14, there is a QRL code. There is one at the table on a stand. You also have some envelopes. And we are going to ask your support. Jacob Frey said, whatever you thought, let's make it twice. The impact that each one of us can have and the impact you've already had. Please know we are deeply grateful for what you have already done, and we ask just a little bit more to help us continue to ensure that Kelly and her team can do this incredible work. Whatever amount you give, it is an investment in improving the health of our communities. I'm going to give you just a moment to grab an envelope or look at that QRL code.
This is one time I love seeing heads down on phones, I think. I just want to take a brief moment to give my most sincere thanks to each and every one of you for attending today, for all of the sponsors, to DTS, our presenting sponsor, to Lisa. She stepped in and has done just a phenomenal job. We are thrilled with our partnership with Allina. Thank you for being here. If any of you chose to use the envelope at your table, there will be plenty of Avivo staff you can hand it to on your way out. Thank you so very much.
So my closing remarks is to Kelly and her team. The work you do is incredible. Our community is stronger because of you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.